Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel today. I'm going to make a couple of baby cards, new baby, using my Scrapping Fun Kit's June kit. So here are some photos of the two cards I'm going to make and we'll get started. I'm going to use some pink cardstock from my stash to create my card base. I'm going to make a 4.5 inch card, so I'm cutting my cardstock 4.5 by 9. I then choose 3 pattern papers from the kit, and I cut the largest one at 4.25 inches square, next size down 4 inches square, and the next one at 3 3/4, so that they sit on top of each other with just a fine border showing all the way around. I used my Papercraft scalloped hearts die and some of the pink cardstock that I used for the base of the card, and I cut out 4 hearts in decreasing sizes. I've cut out 2 greetings from using my computer, and I've printed them onto the same pink cardstock. I'm now going to start to assemble the card. To start with, I ink everything, and then I attach each of the layers using double-sided tape. I then tie some lace from the kit around the panel that I've created and tie a half bow. I use double-sided tape to create a layer of hearts. I just apply a single area of tape down the middle of each heart, and then I am able to lift the hearts up to give it some dimension. I then use glue to attach the little giraffe that I had fussy cut from the cutter parts in the kit. I use foam tape to mount my greeting to the bottom of the card. For a little bit of added sparkle, I use my Wick of Stella pen and add some glitter to the smallest of the hearts. Now my panel is ready to be added to the front of my card. I use foam squares to do that so that there is some height to the card. I'm going to add some interest to the inside of the card now. I cut a piece of the pattern paper so that it fits inside with a small border all the way around. I ink the edges and then use double-sided tape to attach that to the inside. I then add the largest of the hearts that I had cut previously to the pattern paper. I mount the second sentiment that I'd printed out onto some of the other pattern paper in the kit, and so that it's got just a small border around it, and then I attach that to the heart inside of the card. I can't stop with the sparkle, so I decide to add some more Wick of Stella pen to the heart on the inside. That completes the baby girl card. Now to start on the boy card. I'm going to make this card 5.25 inches square, so I'm cutting my piece of cardstock 5.25 by 10.5. I'm going to fold that in half to make the 5.25 inch square, and then I'm going to fold the front panel back on itself so that the actual front panel will be 2 5/8 inches. I choose two of the pattern papers, and the one that goes inside of the card, I cut that to 5 inches square. The one that goes on the front panel and the inside front panel, I cut two pieces, 2 3/8 inches by 5 inches. Now that my pattern papers for the background are organised, I start to think about how I'm going to embellish the card. So you'll see me trying out a few different ideas as I go through. Now that I've worked out what I plan on putting on my card, I'm going to go ahead and start putting it all together. I've created a sentiment on my computer, and I've printed that on the same coloured cardstock that the card base is made with. I'm going to trim that down so that it fits onto that blanket. The blanket is from the kit. It came on the cut apart sheet. The cuddles die cut came also in the sheet, but I didn't want the S on the end, so I've trimmed that off. I cut a fishtail into both ends of my sentiment. To change the colour of my cuddles die cut, I used some ink pads. I tried a couple of different colours to see which one I liked the best. I simply applied the ink by just dabbing the ink pad up and down. I'm now going to assemble this particular embellishment, so I'm going to attach the sentiment and the die cut over the top of the blanket. I'm going to ink around all items in this little embellishment cluster. I actually go ahead and ink all of the papers to go onto the card. All of these embellishments that I'm using on the inside of the card were cut from the cut apart sheet that came with the kit. I'm inking around the edges of them as well. I'm going to cut them to the same width as the inside pattern paper. I'm using double-sided tape to attach everything on the card because I don't want it to be too bulky. For some added texture to the front of the card, I take two pieces of the twine that come with the kit. I wrap it around the pattern paper panel that's going on the front of the card, tie it in a knot, and then trim the edges. I use double-sided tape to hold the twine in place. I started to assemble my front embellishment, and I decided that the cuddles word was not standing out enough, so I decided to ink around the edge of that. I had tried to put it off because it's a very fiddly project, but it needed it, so I have done that. I used double-sided tape to attach the sentiment, and I used glue to attach the die cut. I'm going to use double-sided tape to attach the front overlapping panel to the card, so I have to be careful not to put the double-sided tape where it's not going to be stuck to the card. I don't want any double-sided tape to poke out. Now I'm going to attach the little strips of interest down the bottom of the card. This little one that's got like the hospital band is a great spot to put information regarding to the newborn baby. So I've put that in there so that when the recipient, when the giver knows who they're giving it to, they can enter that information in there. So that completes my second card for today. So I've got 2 cards, one male, one female, and both of them using my Scrapping Fun kit for June. So if you're interested in that, there will be a link in the video below to go and subscribe to the kit. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.